Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am filming a video kind of following up from the last video I did where I was talking about, me starting school again. One of the points I made on that video, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on the Inslate, or I'll put it up in the cards right here. You can look up there somewhere and it'll be right there. But I was talking about how I had such a hard time finding my major, like figuring out what I wanted to go to school for. So many people were telling me, Heaven, you should go to school, but I really didn't know what I wanted to study. Like, it's easy to say, oh, you should go to college, but it's hard to figure out what you want to do. So first, let me give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer. By no means do you need to figure out what your college major is right away. So when you first graduate high school, you're kind of like in this rush, oh my God, I need to figure out what I want to do and blah, blah, blah. First of all, you have to take your basics before you can really do much else anyways. So you have that, and honestly, a lot of people don't even figure out what they want to do until maybe their sophomore or junior year, as far as what I've heard. So there's really no rush to figure this out. But when you decide to start really trying to figure it out and start thinking about it, hopefully these 5 tips will help you out and just give you something to think about. So anyways, here is 5 tips on how to pick your college major. So tip number 1 is to find your passion. So I talked about in my last video how, like I said, it kind of took me a little while, and whenever I really started thinking about it, I always kept coming back to something that I love, which is childcare. And this is a really great tip because you want to do something that you love. You do not want to go to school and do something that you're not passionate about, that you don't love. You go into school to be an accountant. Do you love numbers? Do you love math? Find something that you love, and so your work won't feel like work. And also, college will be a breeze because you are studying something that you truly love. I think that will give you so much more motivation. So tip number 2 is to be realistic. This is so important. So again, I talked about in my last video how I can't see, I have really bad problems with my vision. But, since I have problems with my vision, if I were to go to college to be an aviator, I really wouldn't, get nowhere. Yeah, I could go to school, get my degree, whatever, get my certificate or whatever. And yeah, that's cool, but I can't even drive, so why would I go out and get my my license or certificate or whatever in aviation? That just doesn't that doesn't make any sense. So be realistic. Think about your strengths. Think about your weaknesses. If you can't stand blood, don't try to be a nurse or something or whatever. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you oh, you can't do this and you can't do that, because honestly, this decision is ultimately up to you. I'm just trying to give you some tips, some things to think about when you're trying to figure this out, because these are really important things. Like I said, this is something you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life. This is not a joke. So, just try to be realistic and figure out, what is most suitable for you. Tip number 3 is to ask your friends and family. So this is a big one, I think, because your friends and your family, they know you. I mean, sometimes they can even know you more than you know yourself. And, they might notice things about you that you don't notice, whether it be your strengths, your weaknesses, things that you do, your hobbies. And also, they might point out something that you might know that you could turn into a career. So I think that their opinion is really valuable. Of course, you don't have to take them all to heart, just listen and, kind of cipher through them, figure out, what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you're the one going to college and this is your career, this is your life. So tip number 4 is to consider your future. Think about yourself now and where you want to be in 10 years or 5 to 10 years. And figure out if your college major adds up to where you want to be, because like I said, this is your life, and college is something, it's building blocks that builds a foundation for the rest of your life, and you want to make sure that you are happy with every decision that you make. So like I said, think about some of your long-term goals, write them down, figure out, okay, does this add up with where I want to be, and take all of that into account. And I think that it'll really help. Tip number 5, get involved. So if you want to work with kids and you want your major to be early childhood, and you haven't really worked around kids, but you're well, I like kids, and you worked around them a little bit, but you don't really know. my biggest and strongest advice would be to get involved in that like specific area, you know, whether it be like helping out at the hospital if you want to be like a doctor or a nurse, or helping out at the YMCA if you want to do like an early childhood major or something like that. Like, be involved in what you want to do, because that way you're going to get hands-on and you're going to say, okay, do I see myself doing this for the rest of my life or not? You know, that is really like important, and I think that that's such a good idea. I mean, seriously, you guys, like I said, I have worked around kids, so I know for a fact that that's something that I want to do. But say if I wanted to be like, you know, like somebody, like a nurse or a doctor, you know, it's a good idea for me, since I don't have any experience in that field, it's a good idea for me to like go and volunteer at like a nursing home, or go and volunteer at like the hospital or something like that, you know, get, you know, hands-on with that one thing that you want to do. So anyways, guys, that was my 5 tips to figuring out your college major. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys got something out of it. Let me know. Also, if you guys are going to school, let me know what your college major is, whether you're going to school now or you plan on going to school soon. Let me know what it is, and I would love to chat with you guys. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next one. Stay beautiful. Bye.